Hi everybody, I'm going to share today this map I drew for Jaffna displacement. My article I wrote as um, Miracle House on Jaffna displacement. So this is the map of Sri Lanka, and this is the northern part is where we lived called Jaffna, and the war was between the north and east, that is the predominantly lived by Tamil people, Sri Lankan Tamils, and also the rest of the part, the south is basically Sinhalese. So the war was between the LTTE, Liberation of Tigers of Tamil Eelam, and the Sri Lankan government. And the LTTE wanted a separate state. So this war was called Eelam War, and it lasted for 3 decades and ended in 2009 when Sri Lankan government captured the whole place and killed the LTTE and destroyed the movement. So 1995, I was 15 years old when the Jaffna displacement happened, when we moved from the here and came all the way to Colombo, which is just down there. So this is the path we traveled, and it took a long time because uh, I needed to get the permission from LTT to go to Colombo to be with my father. So that took a long time, and also the whole travel we have to pass through a lagoon because the land connection from through Jaffna was disconnected during the war. So we have to pass through boats or ship or flight to come to the rest of the Sri Lanka. So during that 1995, we passed through the lagoon through the boats to come to the mainland, and then moved slowly. So this is the journey of Jaffna displacement. So unfortunately, we didn't have enough time to leave the house. It was just a quick notice within couple of hours, and it was very difficult to choose what we needed for life because we only were able to carry something in our hands, and I had my bike, so bike had a carrier behind, but that's it. There was not much to carry because we didn't leave the house by a truck or anything like that to move all things. We just a handful of things. And also before that we had in July when the Nawali bombing happened, we left the house but we came back in 2 weeks. So we had the hope when the Jaffna displacement happened in October 1995, we thought we might be coming back. So we didn't think a lot about like it's going to be the end of our life in our homes. We had hope of return, but unfortunately 26 years we have not gone back to live in our houses. And unfortunately our house was taken by the Sri Lankan army, and it was occupied by the Sri Lankan army from 1996 to 2013. So a long time there was no way even to visit our house or go enter into the house. So this is a very hurtful, painful journey. Many people tell me, we have sold our houses, we left the houses. Why is it so painful for you? But when somebody sells their house, they make a decision. It's their choice to sell the house or leave the house. But for us, it was not a choice, it was not a decision. We were forced to do that because we wanted to live, we wanted to survive, we wanted to, it's like life and death situation, and we chose life. And to choose life, we have to flee from our homes to save our lives. So at that moment, that was the best decision and it was right. But along the life, when you think about all what we miss and what we have lost, it's a painful journey. Many people don't understand the pain we carry as genocide survivors of leaving behind our land, our homes, our loved ones, because to save our lives from bombing and shelling and everything. Recently, somebody commented on my Instagram account, you diaspora people don't have an identity and a land. And in a way, what that person said is true, because that is my core inside me. That's my belief, that I don't feel like I belong. I feel like a sense of identity is lost. And it is very common for those who are survivors of genocide and those who have lived as diaspora people outside their land. I had the opportunity to work with refugees from Pakistan and Sri Lanka and Afghanistan in Sri Lanka. And during that time, I really understood the pain and suffering of leaving a house, leaving a land, fleeing to escape from the pain is also is an invisible wound. It looks like we are safe, we are living, right? Be happy that you're alive is true, but on the other side there is so much pain of just leaving everything at that moment, at that time, in that place. So I totally connect, because I have been doing healing work with my lost home. And one time I started to cry. And I remember this iron bucket we used to have at home to take bath. In Tamil, we call it kidaram. So I don't know why I cried for that. I just felt like missing it, because you can't find that kind of a bucket anymore in this, I don't know, in this world, I will say. Those are ancient, antique stuff we used. It was so, like the things which were made in our house were very, unique styles. And you can't, it's all gone. You don't know, so those are the things I felt like the memory is totally gone from where I belong. So as I was crying, my therapist said, just let your tears fill that bucket. And so the tearing was one process of visiting each rooms and crying and mourning and grieving and let go, because until we grieve and until we let go, it's a painful thing. But for us to revisit that place is so traumatic, and we really need to have a therapist or somebody to accompany us to do that journey. And I'm so grateful for my therapist to helping me to revisit my home, to talk to him about, this is the place I was with my grandfather, this is the place we used to do this, that, everything, and share the whole journey, and then write it out as a story. And able to get the help from my friends to do that was a very good support system I had. And that helped me to move on in life, owning the loss, owning the truth that yes, I don't feel I belong, I do not belong in this world. That is a true statement, but that I have to overcome it, and I have to connect with my deep self to feel that I belong in this world. I belong in my body. I belong in myself, and move on in life. So I want to dedicate this video to all those who are fleeing from their homes, even right now, wherever country they are in. And the pain they carry with them as they leave their homes behind, and the sufferings, because many people don't connect with genocide survivors. They don't understand the pain we carry. They just say it's not a big deal. Why are you worrying? Or some people say, anyway we are going to die in this world. What's the big deal of leaving the home and stuff? It's just human made. But still there is a memories also is left in that place. My grandparents' memories, my ancestors also I have lost. So it is not just a stuff or just items or things, to say, oh, I'll buy it somewhere else, let me move on. But also all the things left behind carries a big heavy wound which needs to be healed to move on in life. So I'm really grateful for my healing journey and my support from all of the people who have supported me to heal. And I'm connecting myself to fellow people, diaspora people, and all who are fleeing from their houses. Thank you.